In exclusive spiritual pursuit, every 12-year period will generally mark some distinct transition. Every 12-year period, especially in the case of people who have taken to it in an exclusive manner. When I left everything, entered into the sannyasa, so to say, from that moment onwards, we had nothing but God. What will happen the next moment, we did not know. There was no plan, there was no preparation. There was no plan, there was no preparation, there was no way of expecting. Everything was totally indefinite. To face that indefiniteness with a definite attitude is what is really called spiritual resignation and dedication. So, I did not expect that my body would live so long. I wanted to drop it by about 56 or 58. Then my attitude changed as I was reflecting upon the spiritual wisdom. I have a lot of exposure which perhaps none of you could imagine. Our country is very great. The greatness of any society, so to say, is the literature the society is able to produce as well as preserve. Many do not understand that literature is a memorial. You have memorials made out of earth's substances. They will perish one day. But the memorial in the form of literature need not and will not be destroyed, because it will be reproduced, rewritten, represerved, redisseminated. That is how we have the most ancient Vedas, the age of which can never be accessed. You know, when we went to the Vedic scholars to know, how did you learn this? His answer will be, I learned it from my teacher. You go to the teacher and ask him, how did you learn it? I learned it from my teacher. Don't think that history is only on the basis of visible documentation and architectural remnants. History is also based upon auditory memorial. You can never find the first teacher who taught the Vedas. Because if you go to somebody, he will say, I was taught by my teacher. My teacher. Who is that first teacher? Who will say, I learned it all by myself? So that kind of a memorial, eternal living memorial is literature. That literature we have. I sit in my ashram. I always look at the wall. I have got a projector. So I would put verses taken from Treta Yuga. 4,32,000 verses constitute Kali Yuga. Twice that is Dwapara Yuga. 3 times Kali Yuga is Treta Yuga. And 4 times Kali Yuga is Krita Yuga. All the 4 put together become just like 10 Kali Yugas. So this was written in Treta Yuga. And I look at the verses, I think about them. I think about them. You see, a language written in those days, it has not mutated. We find it to be perfectly grammatical, and all the words we are able to understand. All the words. In Sanskrit, there are 2,000 verbs. And every verb has got 10 multiples. So tell me, how many verbal forms? 20,000. Can you imagine? 20,000 verbal forms. And these suffixes, The suffixes have the same meaning. So you can add them to any verb. You will get parallel meaning. All the suffixes. It is not like inform, conform, pro forma, etc. It's actually absolutely all right. So that Sanskrit language written in Treta Yuga, I am reading, understanding them, getting lost in the imagination. The thought process becomes so fine, finer, finer and finer. It penetrates into the mind, into the intelligence. Both of them are functional nodes of consciousness. So sometimes it becomes difficult to get at the meaning. I have nothing to seek assistance from. My own experience is my guidance in understanding the message. And I write, those of you who read Vichar Setu will understand how lofty, magnificent and splendorous are the discussions made there. By reading them and imagining them, tell me, am I not connected to that remote past? Huh? Where is that past? So, being a lover of literature, Sanskrit literature and our Shastras, I have a very good grace. What is that? In my own spiritual life, every time it is guided by these eternal Shastras. So all the so-called imbalances, disharmonies, likely delusions, doubts, distortions, all of them fall. Naked truths are presented in the most primitive manner, beautiful manner. So the transition every 12 years I was referring to, it must have taken place. I have lived quite long enough. Running the 91st year. Nobody should have any complaint. Whenever I get time, I sit before the computer. I don't wait for a time to write. I write 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. That's the way I do. Today we are having the last session this year. Wherever I go, I apparently continue to go. So in Jamshedpur, I have been visiting the town, premier steel town of India, steel city of India. 57 years. 10 years less to Delhi, 47 years. And here also, I came in 1972. A gap of a few years in between. Otherwise, every year I have been coming here. So today, I propose to talk to you the essence of the entire spirituality. The essence of it. Shuddho buddho vimuktaha Shuddhi shikhara giram mukhyata atparya bhumi Yasmad jatam samastam jagadidam amrtat vyapya sarvam stito yaha Yasyam sham shavataraihi suranaravanajairirikshidam sarvametad tam bhumanam mukundam hridigadamamalam krishnameva prabadye tam bhumanam mukundam hridigadamamalam krishnameva prabadye Madhya hridaya kashe sadanandamayo guruhu udedu satatam samyag swatmananda prabodhakaha. Hari, Hari, Hari Om Tats. Jaya Guru. As usual, we shall have 3 times the auspicious monosyllable Omkara recitation jointly. I again tell you that while the recitation goes on, you must have the deliberate feeling that this Omkara sound produced by us should permeate the whole of the earth and shower its benedictions, blessings on every creature upon the earth. Let the mind expand. Interlock your fingers and put them on your lap. Sit comfortably erect. Close your eyes. Open the mouth and heart and join me. I have spoken this, but I would like to repeat it. Let us get rid of the delusion that constantly chases us. We have an intelligence. Men and women have equally the same intelligence. India has recently passed or will pass a new resolution that 33% of the parliament will be occupied by women. Women are giving birth to all children, men and women. Man doesn't give birth to anybody. So the woman is man plus is my understanding. Unless they come forth and start taking up matters, I don't think the world will improve. Between men and women are supposed to be more loyal. This loyalty is very important, especially in the context of the ethics of life. When two or more people begin to live together, we need ethics. We need regulation. I don't call it control. And we must have values and disciplines also. If one person alone is there, no value. He can live in any manner he likes. But when two and more begin to live, the picture totally becomes different. It is these values and regulations that finally find the place of law. Everything is under law. There is nothing to flout law. Religion has to be under law. Ethics, it is law itself. So it is very, very important that women try to participate, but it will be at a great risk. What is that risk? Women alone can conceive, give birth to children and look after them. So the children, at least up to the age of 15 to 18, they require close proximity, nursing and guidance from the mother. Both it will be good, but both may not be possible. So that part will be suffering. If women start getting into professional life, this is a trouble. How it will affect the society is for the society to see. Don't think that women did not occupy good positions in administration, science and other areas by virtue of any domination. Certainly not. They themselves chose to remain backward, to look after and ensure the proper psycho-intellectual growth of the children. Now if they are going to break it, what will be the risk is something to be seen. It may be something like having invented polymer science, polymer products, plastic. We are using it very comfortably. How to dispose it off? Similarly, how to dispose of the nuclear waste? I am told that they are all collected in barrels and put in the sea. Do you think there will be no corrosion or what will happen when they leak? So every scientific advance is very risky. But our intelligence is potent enough to look after, envisage all these matters and take sufficient precautions. But that part is not emphasized. At least science means intelligence. Intelligence has gained his ground because all the tobacco product manufacturers, they are obliged to write smoking is injurious to health. At least this much they are right. Their intelligence has proven its superiority. Similarly, this intelligence should establish its superiority over wealth, over money. World is ruled by money and intelligence. But at present the world is ruled by money. It should be ruled by intelligence. We are intelligent, but we don't have money. But our intelligence has to be respected. I think unless intelligence also puts its stamp in the matter of ruling, deciding matters, there will be no safety at all. I have told you, just like I have been emphasizing recently, that your body, along with the senses, this is made up of matter. Do you accept, understand this? Our whole living biological body, together with the senses, is made up of matter. Where matter is, energy also will be, because matter and energy are interconvertible. We produce energy. Are you conscious of it? No. What is the energy we produce? Sound. How do you produce it? Converting matter. We consume energy also and convert it into matter. So our body consists of matter and energy, and both of them are, how many times shall I say that? Inert, I-N-E-R-T, I-N-E-R-T, inert. As such, the body and the senses cannot produce an experience or knowledge. Do you agree or disagree?
Agree.
I will not go away from Malaysia until you understand this proposition. That we have eyes, tongue, they are able to sense. Be not blinded by it. They are basically made up of matter, and matter is inert. But our life is experiential. You tell me now, if the body cannot cause any experience, what causes? Every moment we are experiencing. And the experience is not caused by the body and the senses because they are inert. All experiences thus rest upon the mind. The mind is not matter, nor is it energy. It is supra-material and supra-energial. It is associated with the body. It is not a physical part of the body. Am I clear? How many times shall I repeat? The body is made up of matter, senses also. They cannot generate any experience or knowledge. All the experiences and knowledge are generated because the mind is inside the body, not a physical part, but it is associated with the body. And it is the mind that employs the body, organs and senses. Our eyes cannot open all by themselves. Our finger cannot move by itself. No cell can work. It is all the mind. Now, do you understand that the mind is the seat and source of all experiences?
Yes.
So, where should your focus be in life? Are you doing it? Are you giving the necessary focus? You don't think about the mind. You never have any consideration and regard saying that I have got a mind and I must enrich it. I must make it more and more qualitative. That qualitative enrichment of the inner personality should be the first and last concern in human life. It begins when the fetus begins to grow in the mother's womb. Whatever the mother is given to, the various sensations, especially sights and sounds, and her own articulations, these have a lot of influence in the child. The growing child, the fetus. So the growth, qualitative growth and enrichment of the mind, what other factor is there? Intelligence. What further? An ego. Mind, intelligence and ego are the only three constituents of the inner personality. Every time the mind employs the physical organs and senses, the mind is employing and the mind is gaining experience. The mind is within. Therefore, all interactions and interactional experiences tell me whether they are external gross or mental and internal. Do you agree?
Yes.
So the focus should be on the mind. Rajan sharira kalanani vruthothidani chedohi karanamamishu sharirageshu variva sarvavana khandalataraseshu mukhyam shariramiha vidhi mano mahatman. Here are two verses from Yoga Vasistha Ramayana. I have not spoken on them. When I went to Rourkela steel plant, there when I was addressing the people, I used these two verses. Thereafter I have never used. Rajan sharira kalanani vruthothidani chedohi karanam Amishu sharirageshu variva sarvavana khanda latarasesu mukhyam shariramiha vidhi mano mahatman. My dear souls, do you know that the whole of Hinduism is rational? Do you know? Every bit and piece of it is rational. If it is not rational, it is thrown away. The dictum for Hinduism, Vedanta is Yukti Yuktam Pragrinhiyat.
Baladabi vijakshanaha anyacha trinavatyajyam apyuktam padmayonina. If a child tells you something reasonable, you accept it. Otherwise, even if said by Brahma the creator, reject it like a blade of grass. Have you heard? Huh? Enna pesame ukkandindirukkel? Are you listening to me? Yes. Rational. Our God is rational. Otherwise he is not God. What is God? He is existence. A thing that exists, it can never become non-existent. And something that is non-existent can never become existent. Existence continues to exist. It can never cease to exist. That existence is God. Where you can locate it? You can locate it only within your body. And as what? As the I. As the I. Tell me, what is this I referring to? Can you locate anything in our personality to which the I refers to? But it is an idea, it is a concept. It is not material. It is not perceptible, but it is a concept. Like infinity, like zero. It's a concept. Can you ever demonstrate zero? Infinity? But it is a concept. It's very clear to us. What is infinity? What is zero? Zero is defined in our Shastras. This is what you arrive at as zero. So here he says, Rajan Sharira Kalanani Vruthothitani. You have a lot of imagination. You have a lot of ideas. Everybody wants to dress well. Nowadays some dresses are so awful. I ask them, for whom are you wearing this dress? I would like you to see it. They cannot see. I feel very, what can I say? I cannot say I am tongue-tied. Somebody makes a dress and you wear it. So the industry overrules everybody. This is called industrial civilization. They design, it should be this portion should be shown, that portion should be shown, here it is this, here it is that, everything is cut on the table. And you, this is what we are doing. See, one day there was an advertisement. A woman is shown and the selling shop's name also. So what is advertised there? Women is available or dress? What is that? What is that advertisement? What does it mean? We have become so senseless. Rajan Sharira Kalanani Vruthothitani Chedohi Karanam Amishu Sharirageshu. In all these bodies, what counts primarily and ultimately is the existence and function of the mind. Does your body know itself, or does your mind say, I have a body? Mind says that. Huh? Mind says. So which should be more important? Mind. Are you conscious of it? I sometimes address the school children, I say, you have a body, you also have a mind. Between the body and the mind, if at all there is a comparison, which do you consider to be more important? Everybody says mind is more important. This is school children, mind you. We say we want to be happy. What wants to be happy? Nose? Fingertip? Mind wants to be happy. You are hungry, you start eating. At one point of time you feel my stomach is full, I cannot eat anymore. This version comes from the body or from the mind? So he says, drop all talk about the body. Chedohi karanam amishu sharirakeshu. In all the bodies, mind is the sole source and cause. Variva sarvavana khandalataraseshu mukhyam shariramiha vidhi mano mahatman. My dear great soul, there are a number of herbs, creepers, plants, trees, etc. in the huge forest. In all of them, the taste, the rasa that comes out of the whole plant, it is made up of one single water. In all of them, it is the water that comes out with different rasas. In the same manner, all the bodies which are looking different, the ample variety that you have, in all these things, the most important factor is the mind. Variva sarva vana khanda lata raseshu mukhyam shariramiha vidhi mano mahatman. The most important body in us is the mind. Am I clear?
Yes.
Are you clear?
Yes.
Now, see the argument he presents. Vasistha tells Sri Rama, Dehe kshade vividha deha ganam karodhi swapnavana vivanavam navamashu chetaha chitte kshadedu nakarodhi kinchideva dehastada samanupalaya chittaratnam. You are sleeping. The sleeping man is not conscious of his body, nor of the mind, nor of the intelligence, nor of the ego, nor of the world. Any doubt?
Yes.
Any objection?
No.
He is not conscious of anything and the body lies intact there. At that point of time, what does the mind do? The mind produces a dream. In the dream, it interacts with a number of people. All these bodies and people the mind has made, whereas the body remains intact there. So when the body is helplessly, completely still, unable to do anything, the mind produces everything that you see otherwise. A city, a town, a palace. It goes to Washington, it goes to Denmark, it goes to Germany. And it is feeling hungry, it goes to the hotel, takes its food, meets people, transacts business, and all of them, suddenly it wakes up. Then it's found wakeful food is still lying undigested in the stomach. What do you say about the power and process of the mind? The body is incapable of doing anything, but everything is done by the mind. Chitte kshade dunakarodihi kinchideva dehasthadas samanupalaya chittaratnam. Conversely, you see whether the body can do anything. A person is in a state of unconsciousness or coma. This coma is produced by the body or by the other. Unconsciousness. In that state of unconsciousness, body is absolutely unfunctional. It is caused by, the unconsciousness is caused by, you are saying unconsciousness. So is it not something that happens to the consciousness? Consciousness is not the mind. So when we are unconscious, is the body able to do anything? Huh? Whereas when the body was remaining totally intact, at that time in sleep, the mind produced quite a lot of things. Conversely, the body is not able to do anything. So is it not very clear that mind is the sole factor in the whole of our life, for all experiences, for all knowledge, for all events, for all transactions, for all interactions. Mind is the sole cause. This is a message I wanted to convey. Will you be conscious of your mind? Every day you should get up thinking about the mind. When you go to sleep, think about the mind and then see whether the mind has been enriched by the day's experience and interactions. Or you have been active all along only to become depressed at the end of the day. And the power of the mind is so much that in spite of a 16-hour interactional day and all the impacts the interactions have produced, the mind is simply obliterates the whole thing and pushes the man to sleep. If all the interactions were physical and solid, can the mind obliterate them? How can the mind wipe off all the interactional impacts if they are physical, solid and gross? You may have interacted seemingly with external objects, gross objects, but understand that the interactions are taking place within the body in the level of the mind. It is in your experiential level, and there the interactions take place. The mind is producing an imprint of all objects. In front of me, the curtain is there, the wall is there, the clock is there. They don't come to me and I don't go to them, but I have a clear imprint of all of them. This imprint is produced by the body or by the mind? Where is it producing? In the body or in itself? So other than mental imprints, do you have any objectivity or solidity in the whole of your life? Huh? Unless you react, open out the door of knowledge, what I say will not enter. The doors of knowledge are inside. Mind and intelligence are the only doors of knowledge. So open them. When I ask you a question, say yes. Or if you want, you say no. And prove yourself a fool. Chitte kshadetu na karoti na kinchideva dehasthadas samanupalaya chittaratnam. My dear Rama, therefore, you should always follow and pursue the jewel of mind. That is why I said, a man is judged not by what he has in terms of solid and material objects, house, car and other assets. But a man is judged by what he is. He is. He is. The entire emphasis is shifted from the outside to inside. To which extent are you good? To which extent people like you? People are sitting on a chair, administration. The moment they get out, only if the person has been good and noble, people will remember him. Otherwise they will not. A good mother is remembered by the children, not merely a biological mother. A good father will be remembered. A good friend will be remembered. A good teacher will be remembered. After I became a sannyasi, I went to one lecturer. He used to teach and sometimes get angry. His whole body will tremble and the dhoti he is wearing, that will also tremble. One day he said, they were not speaking very good English. He said, if you behave like that, I will tell the principal and I will ask him to get out. I will ask him to get you out, you should say. So he was, I will ask him to get out. So I went to him. When I went to him, he was smoking. He was so shy. Another teacher I went. Generally towards such teachers, the children were very playful and mocking, etc. But I used to like them, good teachers. So, every time you understand, it is the goodness of a man that counts. The greatness. Where from greatness comes? It is a quality. Quality. Famous qualities you practice, automatically fame will creep in. I was never been after famous, but I am always after famous qualities. Qualities which will become famous. So, dehastada samanupalaya chittaratnam. The message is that between the body and mind, the mind is the more important, the causal and the source, and your attention should be to enrich, to empower, to elevate, to expand, to energize the mind. When the mind becomes bigger and bigger, your performance also will become more and more classical, more and more effective, more and more ornamental. To work with a small, constricted mind, to work with a broad, expansive mind, tell me which is better? So always pay attention to the qualitative enhancement of the mind. Now, all of you are given to performance. Even the housewife is performing. Everybody is given to performance. So we want to be a good actor and performer. So I will give you 2 verses from Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, where you will understand. Use it as just like gold is tested by rubbing, you should consider it to be a rubbing stone for you. Mukta sango naham vadi dhrityutsaha samanyudaha siddhya siddhyor nirvikaraha karta satvika uchyate. In the 18th chapter, especially from 13th onwards, Bhagavad Gita becomes enumerational. Bhagavad Gita becomes, he is enumerating like mathematics, pure mathematics. This is it. You can put it 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. And the enumeration is primarily based upon a classification which is threefold. This is called the pure, the sattvic, the pure, the brilliant, the splendorous, the fine, the time-tested. The next is rajasic, that is the middle range. And the third is tamasic. So I am reading 2 shlokas from there. If you are living and working, there are different types of performers. Different? You know, there are people who will not. Always. What is the harm? Try to be a little relaxed. Lips and teeth are there, show them a little. We don't require money to smile. Suppose something has taken place at home, one party. Until the other party, maybe husband or wife, somehow approaches and says a few words. Who suffers in the whole process? I think we should learn to be relaxed. So many tufts and knots are there in the mind. Drop all of them. Mukta sangaha, anaham vadi, dhrityutsaha samanyudaha, siddhya siddhyoho nirvikaraha, karta satvika uchyate. The ideal performer, it is within the possibility of everybody. Everything is possible, but whether they are probable, I am not able to say. You can, but whether you will, that rests on you. He says, drop your delusions. Delusional clinging to people. Delusional clinging to things. Why should we have so much delusion? Understand that mind has got a position where no clinging will be there at all. So repeatedly think about non-clinging. I will get married, I will have a child, one or two. Okay, you get married, you get children also. But equally you say, but I will never be delusionally clinging to anybody. The mother can bring up the child very beautifully. So, Shakuntala happened to see an orphan child. Instantly he picked up the child and started growing, rearing her up. She grew up. At one time she had an encounter with somebody she didn't know. Finally, she started showing symptoms of pregnancy. So he called her. Oh, is it so? Immediately he packed her off and sent to Dushyanta with a message. Now if I start speaking on it, these are things which every one of you know. They are precious. There are 4 shlokas in Shakuntala written by Kalidasa. Kavyeshu natakam remyam tatra Shakuntalam mahad tatra chapi chaturthvangaha tatra shloka chatushtayam. Of all the kavyas, dramas are the best. Among them, Shakuntala, Abhijnana Shakuntala of Kalidasa, in that 4th chapter and 4 verses. So he sends a message to Dushyanta, a message to this girl, Shakuntala, one to the plants and trees which she was watering, and he uses the word Yasya bhavatyutsavaha. When the plants are flowering, he says, it is festivity for Shakuntala. Have you heard? Huh? When you water a plant and it flowers, a flower plant, what will be the response or reaction that you will have? She will not drink anything or eat anything without giving you water first. And when you bear the first flower, it becomes festivity for her. Such a Shakuntala is going, please give farewell, he says. What a beautiful. I have no time to explain it now and recite the shloka. Similarly, he says, you are going to a palace, here you had nobody. So this is the way you should conduct. To Dushyanta he says, I am sending her. We are people for whom restraint is the wealth. Samyamadhana, a beautiful expression. So I am sending her with nothing. You are to accept her. Because there was a private exchange between you where none of us was present. That you know. I don't know. So please accept. Like that he is giving. So how is it that this saint picked up the orphan child and started rearing her up? This is how all of you should do. If a Kannu Maharshi could do it, can you not do it? Why should you say, my children? See, the children should delight you. They must be hearty in every way. Now when the children start growing, you are getting bound, getting worried. It should not be. So, Mukta Sangaha, Anahamvadi, whatever you may do, wherever you may do, for whichever purpose, never have an absolute sense of ownership about it, which makes you suffer. That aham, that egocentric feeling should not be there. Dhrityutsaha samanvidaha. At the same time, you must have will and fervor in doing everything. Dhriti utsaha samanvidaha. Every time you must be beaming with enthusiasm, fervor. Siddhya siddhyoha nirvikaraha. Whatever you do, whether it attains fully as desired in the matter of fruition, or there are some troubles. We had sent Chandrayaan last time in India. We were not able to land it properly. So very careful. I don't consider it to be a failure at all. It is a journey to a place where we have not gone. From here we are engineering, putting everything inbuilt, and this time it safely landed. What is the trouble? You mean to say such attempts will succeed necessarily for the first time? May not. It was not a failure. It was only a chance for examining whatever they have found out. So they succeeded. So dhrityutsaha samanvidaha siddhya siddhyor nirvikaraha karta sattvika uchyade. That kind of a performer is considered to be the most pure, elevated and spiritually brilliant. So this is the standard for you. How should you live? How should you marry? How should you become a parent? How should you negotiate a marriage for your daughter and send her away? For everything you should do it excellently well. With fervor, with enthusiasm, with resolve, with insight. When you bring up children, I always say, they will not always listen to you. The right attitude is, you call now and then, I say, you should have a monthly meeting with the children, all members of the house. And then say, do you have any complaint? Are you happy? You conduct a meeting and see what happens. Generally, nobody will say anything, but sometimes they will speak. When they speak, you should listen to it, not get angry. Everybody has a freedom, and the children, you should say, now we are asking you to be obedient, etc. When you grow and become 18, 21 like that, do you know we are the people who are going to seek your consultation? I propose to do this, my dear son, my dear daughter. What do you think about it? Do you have any view or opinion? Don't you think this is why we are bringing up our children for? To become adults. Suppose you start telling in this manner. You know, I sometimes write letters. Recently I wrote a letter to a boy whom I have not seen, but I know. The mother is complaining, he is lazy, he does not learn, etc. So I said, I don't know whether your son will read this, but I am writing. And I wrote. And he has replied, I believe, saying, beautiful, very confirmatory, in a confirmatory manner, he has written. There is nothing wrong, I am responsible and all. So this is the way you should perform. Mukta sango anahamvadi dhrityutsaha. Dhriti and utsaha. People are asking, what are the benefits of spirituality? The benefits of spirituality are, they will always enrich, empower, elevate and expand your mind and intelligence. The mind will become subtler and purer. The intelligence will become sharper and more perceptive. I had already told you once, I think, an engineering student came and reported to me in the ashram, Swamiji, you always speak about spirituality and how beneficial it is to children. I say, a subject you will take 1 hour to understand, read and understand. If you have spiritual inclinations and spiritual exposure, some little habits, then you will be able to read it and understand it, if not within 30 minutes, at least in 40 minutes. This is the advantage. Now you are not using your intelligence. You should use it, do introspection. The one introspection that I would suggest to you is, we say people should speak truth. What is the wrong in speaking untruth? Question and find out the answer. Why should we be good? Why not be bad? There is an answer. This is how you encourage the intelligence and make it more and more perceptive. You have to be free from delusional clinging, free from false ego. You should be imbued with will and fervor, enthusiasm. You should be unswung by success and failure. The mind should become free of torments, afflictions. Everything is passing. One particular instance or event that took place at a time, how can it linger on you? Why? It has taken place, it was a little unpleasant, that's gone. We are bound to experience unpleasantness and also pleasantness. Opposed to this, here is the description of a passionate performer. Ragi karmaphala prepsuhu lubdho himsatmako ashuchihi harsha shoganvidha karta rajasa parikirtida. We described the sattvic karta the best. Here, ragi, very greedy. Greed, it is like a turbulent river flowing. It will uproot the trees on the shore. You should have desire, moderate desire. Never allow a desire to become greed. It should not become greed. Karma phala prepsuhu. You only know karma and its phala. Everything. Arey, all these karmas and phalas, ultimately you leave the very body. Do you think the karmas will be there then? When a man dies, even a golden ring will be removed. Nothing will be sent with him. Every asset of yours will be taken away. What are we getting attached to? Why don't you think better? What will be the development after 50 years, 60 years, etc.? Intelligence is meant for that. Lubdha, greedy, himsatmago, does not mind hurting others, even killing others. Harsha shoga anvidaha. He only knows to swing between harsha and shoga, delight and depression, delight and depression. Don't we have a balanced mind? Can we not have harmony? Can we not become flexible? In spite of whatever takes place every day, can we not convert and transform the day into one of inner enrichment? Inner enrichment. Inner enrichment. Inner enrichment, mind you. Every day, at the end of the day, you should feel, I am enriched. When you become enriched, your contribution to the world also will become enriched. So, we must be able to live and work in such a manner that we are becoming enriched, we enrich the world also. You know, the parents will become much better parents. The children also will become better. The other day, somebody wrote to me a letter, a grown-up person. My mother never allows freedom to me. She is already earning. She has grown up. She wants to purchase a car. Now she has to walk or go by bus. It takes a long time. Purchasing of a car in her case will be good. She will be able to reach the places for teaching. She is a teacher. See, a grown-up girl saying like this, a responsible girl who is a lecturer, what kind of a mother is this? Can we become so selfish, so blinded? Harsha shoganvidha karta rajasa parikirtidaha. All these are rajasic type. So I give you a contrast here. What is sattvic and what is rajasic? Learn from the rajas that you should not be so. Learn from the sattvic that you should be so. If you go on matching, rubbing your own thoughts, your own minds, your own words with all these, I think improvement will naturally come. The intelligence part of your life should be opened. There is nothing more delightful than knowledge. Knowledge is the greatest persuasion in human life. Greatest persuasion. You explain to a thief and make him understand that thieving is wrong, he will immediately stop thieving. But we are condemning them, saying that they are thieves, don't talk to them. In Calcutta, in the prisons, it was a lady, a superintendent came, a woman. You know, she started manufacturing sweets in jail, using these prisoners. And the sweets became very famous in the market. She made them perform many things and she became a legendary person. What are we saying? Maybe a man has thieved and he is in the prison. Does it mean that he is ever a thief? We should try to enlighten them, talk to them in a very persuasive manner. But that kind of nobody. We have jails. They must also have residence. Now, when you orient yourself after the sattvic lakshanas, sattvic characteristics, you will find there is a great difference in quality. And you know what will happen? You will become a Mahakarta and a Mahabhokta. Say, Mahakarta, Mahabhokta. You will become a mighty performer and a magnificent enjoyer. And an astounding sufferer. See, you will become a mighty, majestic performer and a magnificent enjoyer, equally a magnificent sufferer. See, Arjuna said that I will retreat from the war. 4.5 million warriors were present there. At the end of the 18th day, 4.5 million minus 10, all of them were killed, they fell. He was not able to think of that colossal consequence. And his body started trembling, mind started whirling, etc. At the end of the day, what happened? At the end of the whole 18 days, he performed the battle. So initially the sorrow he was not able to bear. But after Krishna's instruction, he grew in his inner dimensions that he was able to bear the impact. This is the transition that you should remember. All this was worked by knowledge. Krishna did not give him any other input. He did not give him Pepsi or Coca-Cola. No. He did not pat on his back. Nothing he did. He was only flinging words of wisdom. So I would like you to recite this sloka. Mukta sango naham vadi. Mukta sango naham vadi. Dhrityutsaha samanvidaha.
Dhrityutsaha samanvidaha.
Dhrityutsaha samanvidaha.
Dhrityutsaha samanvidaha.
Siddhya siddhyoh samo bhutva.
Siddhya siddhyo nirvikaraha.
Oh, my mistake. Siddhya siddhyoh nirvikaraha.
Siddhya siddhyo nirvikaraha.
Siddhya siddhyor nirvikaraha.
Siddhya siddhyor nirvikaraha.
Karta satvika uchyate.
Karta satvika uchyate.
Karta satvika uchyate.
Karta satvika uchyate.
Mukta sango naham vadi.
Mukta sango naham vadi.
Dhrityutsaha samanvidaha.
Dhrityutsaha samanvidaha.
Siddhya siddhyor nirvikaraha.
Siddhya siddhyor nirvikaraha.
Karta satvika uchyate.
Karta satvika uchyate.
Learn these words. Mukta sangaha, anaham vadi, dhriti utsaha samanvidaha, siddhya siddhyoho nirvikaraha, karta satvika uchyate. Primarily it is 4 qualities. Can you not read them, understand them? By repeatedly saying this, your mind will be impressed by them. After some time, the mind will start generating this quality. You know what is the easiest and the right way to develop a quality? Love the quality and remember it. I have a formula. 50 mind hours if you can spend on anything whatsoever, a quality, the quality will become yours. 50 mind hours. What does it mean? You should spend your mind thinking about it, reflecting upon it, an association with that, with the mind, through the mind. That will install the quality. I have a disciple in Delhi, very tall man. He was in the customs and official. He left the job. One day, Swamiji, I can do many things, but I lack in commitment and dedication. Huh? Commitment and dedication? You are a customs official. The whole nation was depending upon people like you. And you say you lack commitment and dedication. Yes, if I have commitment and dedication, I can do a lot of good things. So how to develop these qualities? I first of all laughed. Nobody has said something like this. So I said, yes. Shall I tell you? Yes. Will you do it? Never tell me anything back. I will give you what you should do. Simply, I shall explain it. Then you should not speak to me. See? Yes. Go on saying repeatedly, commitment, 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 commitment. I want to be committed. I want to be committed. Commitment, commitment. I want to be committed, 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 committed. I want to be committed, 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 dedicated, 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 dedicated. Go on saying thousands of times and tell me after a week. You know, he called me after 3 days saying that, Swamiji, the quality is growing in me. And he spoke about it to his customs official people. And when we got down, where was it? He showed us, this is the customs officer. Delhi, Bombay. In Bombay, when we got down, they had come to conduct us faster. So he was saying, see, this is the officer whom I had told. Every day he is catching 2 cases. But his colleagues have nothing. See, what is this wonder? I think all of you are insensitive and lazy. Insensitive in the sense that you are not able to pick up this. Secondly, lazy. So, Mukta Sango Anahamvadi Dhrityutsaha Samanyudaha Siddhya Siddhyor Nirvikaraha. See, generally, we laugh a lot, cry a lot. Is this good? Or laugh moderately and cry also moderately. Which will be better? You tell me. Moderately. And this moderation, if you are able to practice well, you know, you will be rising above them. You can count the number of days. Previously I used to laugh, I used to cry also. Now Swamiji, I am not able to do either. See, it is a very good, beautiful taste. In this way, Sri Krishna, from the 13th chapter in Bhagavad Gita, everything he gives to you in the form of a listing. Why Gita is becoming famous throughout India? All the management people, they are wanting to study Bhagavad Gita because they are disclosing and revealing the higher and higher dimensions of the mind and the intelligence. We only have some conventional dimensions, but they have great dimensions. To which extent the mind can grow. Sky is the limit. Sky is the limit. Don't put up any wall for the development of the mind. It can be to any extent, any extent, any extent. There was a woman in Kerala, she must have been living within the last 100 years or 150 years. She was a lofty devotee of Lord Krishna, particularly of Guruvayur temple. A woman. You know, Krishna was always playing around, sometimes disturbing also. So one day she felt so disturbed by Krishna, she opened jar-like thing and put closed. She started working. Actually, it has happened. If you close up Bhagavan, he cannot be suffering from oxygen and all that. After some time, he came out. There are beautiful episodes about her. Kururamma, she was called. The legend is even now very popular. People are writing books on her. Now, this is a power of the mind. Don't question it. Can there be such a Krishna coming to her? Yes, not one, many. You are speaking about the mind, not about matter. But the trouble is, mind being inside, you cannot objectivize it. Then what happens? What happens is, in any kind of visible external matter, you can show it, experiment it, show it. But mind is internal. How this particular lady had such a super level of devotion, it is concerning the mind, so we are not able to copy it for ourselves. But you can try, broad principles can be mentioned and you can try. That is why this Guru Sangha and Guru Asa is very necessary. See, when people come to the ashram, here Bharat has come from America. So yesterday or so I asked him, Bharat, you have come. Exclusively you are with me in this group. What is the benefit that you are having? Can you tell me? He said, I am always having more peacefulness, more. And this one sentence is not sufficient. You should pinpoint to me what are the real benefits you are having. He has not replied me. See, it is something, he leaves his job, whatever he does, and now it's all online. So he comes here. He is going to go to be with Nuthan Swamiji in Jamshedpur also for the retreat. You know, what is this? It is a totally dramatic change. Drastic change. In your house, you will not remember God even for 15 minutes. But here God will be thrusting himself on him. So these are dimensions which you can always think of. Don't think that I am a conventional man. I am a conventional man. You are only biologically born of your parents. Your inner ingredients are totally independent. The mind starts growing after birth. The intelligence starts growing after birth. And initially you are under the care and nursing of parents and teachers. The moment you become 15, 16, 18-year-old, then you develop your own singular thinking. You have your own options, selections, ideals, values. And that growth is, sky is the limit. Our idea is to become a mighty performer. I have completed the discussion. Samvedya varjidamanuttamameghamadyam samvidpadam vigalanam kalayan mahatman hridyeva tishtha kalanarahita kriyam tu kurvan akartrapadamethya samodita shri kurvan akartrapadamethya samodita shri. Hari, 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 Om Tats. We shall have the conclusional Omkara, all of us together. Take the pose for it. Hari.